Hello and welcome to the Tuesday lunchtime drop-in meditation at Nottingham Buddhist Centre. My name is Richard. I'm covering for Gareth at the moment, and Gareth's away on a retreat, and so I'm going to be covering for him today, and it'll be Paul this evening. So today's meditation, Mindfulness of Breathing, and I've mentioned this a few times in the last few weeks. We do have kind of a slightly new system. There are a series of playlists on our channel, and what that means is that you can look up how to do these meditations, and it means that we don't necessarily need to go through the whole thing every session, which is quite a nice way of doing things, I think. So have a look at those if you want to do that. There's also all sorts of other helpful things about posture, body scans, that kind of thing, and they're all very, very useful, just there to help you sort of establish a practice, basically. So today we're going to do the mindfulness of breathing, and really what that's designed to do is to help you to bring more awareness to your sort of experience generally. Meditation generally is more like the sort of like the crucible of your sort of experience, really. It creates a certain type of experience that you can carry over into the rest of your life. So this is kind of like at the cutting edge almost of your sort of experience is meditation. So one thing that we use the breath for really is an aid, to what we call an aid to presence. So one thing that we are very prone to, and our society is geared up to doing it, is to become dispersed in some way in terms of our attention or our energy, or our priorities and motivations. All of those things can become quite dissipated and sort of dispersed across lots of different things. A good example of that is your attention. At the moment, there's a lot of things that are trying to get our attention. I'm doing it now. I'm trying to get your attention. But if you look at say, your standard YouTube video, you've got the whole thing down the right-hand side, and that's also trying to get your attention. So you're watching lots of different things at once, and that just sort of plays out across. You could walk through town. There's a lot of things trying to get your attention. So what tends to happen to our energy there is that our energy is kind of spread out, and it's spread out across the senses quite often. Whereas in meditation, is bring that into, sort of gather it a little bit, really, sort of bring that together, and sort of intensify it. So one way that we do that is we just watch the breath. So like I say, I won't go too much into the detail with that, because we've got the playlist there for you to work with. But what we do is we do some counting, which I'll introduce very briefly at the start of every stage. And after that, we start to intensify our experience, going into our experience. Now, there's a couple of ways we can do that, and there's a couple of things that hinder us there. One of the things that hinder us is our mind's tendency to do this proliferation, this spreading out across things. We do it a lot in our lives, and therefore when we meditate, it's the same mind that we're meditating with, so it's bound to start doing some of the similar things. But we can challenge that. We can use our faculties of the mind to sort of try and calm that down a bit, really, and that can be very, very helpful. So one of the ways that we do that is we just try to join up our experience in some ways. And one of the ways we can do that is to join one breath with another. It sounds very, very simple, but we sometimes tend to think of things in units. But when you think about the breath as it's appearing, this sort of category of in-breath, out-breath, the end of one breath, the beginning of another, they kind of start to break down a little bit. And we're just having an experience of breathing. And then we can start to go deeper into that, really. So I won't say loads more about that, really. And I'll just let us sort of get on with the meditation, really. But it's worth remembering that what we're doing when we try to bring our awareness back to the breath is that we're intensifying our experience in some way. Now, we're trying to experience the breath more deeply, so we're intensifying ourselves there. But when we bring our energies together, that can bring a certain level of intensity there, and we can see more deeply into our experience, which is one of the aims of meditation generally, is that we're looking more deeply into what's there. We sometimes want to create new things in meditation, like we do with the Metta Bhavana, but actually a lot of the time we're working with what's there and encouraging it, these more sort of beneficial states of mind, basically. And the ultimate aim of this meditation really is to build a mind that is characterized by awareness. Often our minds are characterized by distraction. That's the way that we have to operate in the world, but we don't necessarily need it to be that way, and we can choose to do something different all the time. So I won't say too much more. We can start the meditation. Just a little word about posture. I'm sure you've all got your ideal posture at home, so I won't say too much about that. The only thing I will say is if you find that you're experiencing some pain or discomfort that you don't normally experience, then make a change before we start the meditation, because chances are that will just get worse. What's probably happening is you're having to work to stabilize your posture. And that is something that will just become harder the longer you sit, basically. So have a look at working out how you can deal with that now. And maybe you need more blankets or cushions, or just change your posture completely if that's what you want to do. But I'm guessing that you're in your good conditions at home or wherever you are, and you've got something good that works for you. So we'll start with this short body scan, and that will help us just to calm. So we'll start with this short body scan, and that will help us just to calm down our senses a little bit, and just get into doing something different. Give a sense of contrast between what's happening in the day and what's happening on the cushion. So if you're ready and you've managed to get yourself into a good posture, just gently close your eyes and just take one long, slow in-breath. And just hold it for as long as you feel like holding it. And then just release it, allowing your whole body to relax as you breathe out. And just try doing this a few times. Just to join up the sensation of breathing with the rest of your body, with the rest of your experience. The breath is always making changes to our body. And when we're sitting still, we can start to notice these a bit more easily. Lots of micro adjustments, all part of the breathing process. We can begin by paying attention into our hands. Very sensitive part of the body, a lot of sensation possible there. And just notice anything that's happening there, any tension, any sense of relaxation and softness. Maybe some tingling energy in the skin or the muscles. And whatever you found there, just allow your hands to relax and be open. Bringing a sense of softness. And then we can begin to trace awareness up our arms, around our shoulders. Just exploring any tension that we might find. And just noticing that becoming aware of something seems to change it in some way. Now bring your awareness around our rib cage, down our spine, around our sternum, collarbones, whole structure of the body, keeping us upright, holding the structures of our body together. Sensing the changes that the breath is making here. And bringing awareness to parts of the body that we may not normally notice. Just as the diaphragm and the chest expand with the breath, so does the upper back. Now down into our diaphragm, feeling all our abdominal muscles, any internal sensations. And feeling the spine, the lower back. It joins the pelvis. And becoming aware of the sensations of the sitting bones on our chair or cushion. Again, just noticing how this area changes with the breath. Staying with the rhythm of the breath, we can take our awareness lower down the body to our upper legs, around our groin, down to our knees. Just encouraging the muscles there to be relaxed, to be soft. Exploring that part of your body with awareness. Now down into your calves, around your shins, your ankles. Sensing the sensations of contact with the floor or with your chair. A sense of contrast between the hardness of your bones and the softness of your skin and muscles. And now down into your feet. You may notice a similar sensation that you had in your hands. A sensitivity, a tingling sensation, an energetic sensation. And you may be able to feel the faint trace of a pulse somewhere there. These are the kind of subtle signals from the body that you may start to notice in meditation, which are often drowned out by the rest of the world. Now we can bring our awareness all the way back up to our head. Around our neck, around our scalp. Very, very complex part of the body generally. A lot of sensation. A lot of focus of our mental content is around this part of the body. We can also store tension here as well. So just scan through your neck and your head looking for tension, maybe around the forehead, around the jawline and mouth. And just relax that part of the body as much as you can. So now in the first stage of the meditation, we focus on the breath. And we begin a count at the end of the breath. We breathe in, breathe out, count 1. Breathe in, breathe out, count 2. Until we get to 10, or until we lose the count. In which case, we just remind ourselves that we're watching the breath. And we begin the count again. Don't worry at all about losing the count. The count is just there to help you connect with the breath. You may already be very strongly connected with the breath. Just using it as an aid to keep you present in the moment. If you find that your mind is becoming distracted, just return to the breath. Return to the sensations of your body. And try to connect each individual breath, all of the sensations that you notice associated with the breath, unifying our experience by using these signals from the body, from the mind, from our feelings, allowing them to cohere. And in this stage, just bring your awareness to a sense of contrast. The simple act of sitting quietly with your eyes closed, just sensing the contrast between doing this and what else happens normally in our day. So now in the second stage, we change the emphasis of the count slightly. We count 1, breathe in, breathe out. Count 2, breathe in, breathe out. And here we're using the count to establish some awareness before the breath emerges. We count 1, and we're telling ourselves that the breath is about to appear. We're focusing on that. Again, if you find yourself becoming distracted, this is only because that's happened many times outside meditation. It's not because you're in some way failing to meditate. So just gently, with kindness and understanding, just restart the count. Refocus on the breath. And just allow that train of thought, whatever it was, just disappear. Now may be a good time to check in with how you're feeling. How is doing this practice making you feel? Do you feel more relaxed? Are you grateful for the space and the peace? Just explore those positive events if they are there in your experience. So now in the third stage, we drop the counting and we focus on the entirety of the breath. What do we mean when we say the breath? What we have is sensation. What we have is experience. Tracing the breath in motion. Tracing the changes in experience. Taking the opportunity to go deeper into your experience. Staying open and sensitive to the sensations that arise in our body, in our feelings, in our mind. Again, taking the time to just be open to how this practice is making you feel. Sensing its effect. So now in the fourth stage, we focus our awareness on where we first feel the breath enter the body. For some people, this is around the nostrils or the upper lip. For others, it's around when the chest expands or the diaphragm expands. And what we're doing here is just allowing our awareness to rest on this one point of experience. Once we've found that point, just allow your awareness to rest on that point of experience. And in this stage, it can sometimes be possible to make too much effort. So instead of making an effort, just try to relax any sense of making any effort at all. Just allow your awareness to stay with this single point of the breath, allowing it to rest gently there. you're becoming distracted again, just come back to the single point of the breath and enjoy the sensation of not needing to will anything. So now, as we begin to approach the end of the meditation, just expand your awareness away from this single point of the breath, back to how you're feeling, back to your body. Start to take in some of the sounds that are around you, some of the sensations from the room you're in. And again, just take notice of how differently you might feel. Just aware that this new state of being is what you will re-enter the world with. You may be a bit more sensitive and receptive maybe than normal. And then when you're ready, just gently open your eyes and bring the meditation to a close. So thanks very much for joining us today. If you are able to make a donation, then we are very grateful for that. There is a link in the description below this video or on our website. Yeah, we're still very reliant on donations from people, so anything that you want to give us, we're very, very grateful for that. I hope that was a good session for you, if you want another session with us today, Paul will be here later. He'll be broadcasting from his home, and he'll be doing the mindfulness of breathing again. Yeah, nice to see you, Sylvia, and Shobit. I hope I'm saying that name right. And yes, I hope to see you again next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.